Hi, welcome to today's Bob stream, in which I will, maybe you will, be doing some research for a game-like thing that I just need to make. I need to make it. I have been telling people for a long time now. Oh, I forgot to test my light. It's working. I've been telling people for a long time now. I've had this idea in my head for a large and expansive game, a first-person life/job simulator, not unlike My Summer Car and its many imitators, set in a particular place and a particular time on Aruba. Now, that is a big project. That is a huge project that I don't have the time, the resources, the knowledge, the whatever to properly do at this point in my life, but I would like to build up to that. And one way to build up to that is start small, make something smaller. And I've had a number of game ideas that involve Aruba in some capacity. And one of them is a kind of digital interactive poem, like lighter than a walking simulator. You just kind of walking through some environments and text prompts pop up, and that's it. Right? Relatively simple on a technical level, low on the interactivity. It's more about just getting to the next point and reading words. Like I said, it's more a poem than anything else. Hey, Jujo. And it's small and self-contained, will allow me to focus on getting some environment modeling skills, maybe developing a visual style, and getting to grips with some of the basics of Godot, which I've tinkered around with for years but never have made anything significant with. Pretty sure. Yeah. So that's the idea. And to do that, I have already in my head the image of what it looks like. I have a basic layout of levels and a path. I am in the middle of writing an actual poem that will show up as text in some capacity. But I need to do some more research, both for the sake of the poem and the text, that the accuracy of what I'm depicting, and the actual environments, because the environments will be modeling real-life locations on Aruba. Or at least one real-life location that is publicly accessible, and other ones that will at least try to have some authenticity to how they're supposed to look. That real-life location will both be the easiest and the most difficult one to make, because I can have what I'm gonna do right now in a couple of minutes is I'm gonna look at some videos of it to try and get an impression. I've been there many times, but I need, if I want to recreate it in 3 dimensions, I need to get a proper some proper reference material, let's say. And the other locations will be different. So, with that being said, where do we start today? Okay. Let me describe the game. Let me give a quick elevator pitch for what it is supposed to be. Right? Like I said, it's a digital poem of some capacity. You're walking through an environment. The idea is, I have a name for it. It's called Under a Useless Island. And it refers to 2 things. One, under, because I'm going to be exploring locations. Hi, Grace. I'm going to be exploring locations that include a cave, a mine, and a bunker. And I'm going to be exploring themes of the ways that Aruba has historically been exploited, while also covering literally the Aruban underground. Why is it called a useless island? Well, one, under a useless island flows nice under the tongue, and it's evocative. But the useless island refers to like a historical thing that happened in the history of Aruba and its neighboring islands, Curacao and Bonaire. I need a little more calm music for this. Do I have calm music? That's too calm. When the Spanish genociders arrived on the ABC Islands just off the coast of Venezuela, they found in total maybe about 1,000 natives there. And they did what the Spanish of the early 16th century did, is they rounded them all up, shipped them off to another island in the Caribbean to die in the mines as slaves. Which is a pretty rough fate for a people. But the thing about those islands was, so Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, is they were small. They didn't have much strategic value. They didn't have much cultivation value because they had like an arid climate and dry soil. So there was not much to exploit. But, you know, the colonialists being what they were, they still needed to lay claim to them, but also for some reason make it clear that these islands were useless. That's what they were called. It was Islas Inútiles. So literally useless islands in Spanish. In a way, you know, also a positive in the sense that they were mostly left alone until I think the Dutch took control of the islands and realized that Curacao would be a perfect shipping depot for slaves all around South America. But I've always found it so insulting. And especially because they were still exploited. Like I said, Curacao was still exploited with the slavery. Bonaire, like, its biggest export is salt, I think. Aruba was used to cultivate Brazil wood, breed horses. There was mining for sulfur, for gold. It had what was at one point during World War II the largest oil refinery in the world. And of course now it's a big tourist location. So in that sense, it's never been useless. You know? Isla Inutilis feels like an apt description for how I felt in school. No, yeah. How you doing? You're not in school, you're here. You don't need to be useless. Or useful. You can be useless, it's fine. So the idea is... well, I'm linking it with some other things. So you go into a cave. That white non-logo cup almost feels provocative. It does have some. It does have some artwork on it. The other thing is, what is it called in English? There is a Flemish-Belgian comic series called Suske and Wiske. I have a bunch of them here. These kids. This is probably a very poor... as you can see, Flemish stuff has racial issues. Let me find a better cover. And this also has racial issues. But it's about these two kids, also known as Spike and Susie in Britain, I think. I don't know what it's called in German. It's been a super long-running comic book series. And in the 90s, they released an issue, a book set on Aruba. Ironically, not ironically, well, kind of ironically, it's barely set on Aruba because they immediately go underground to some kind of underground lab. And that made me kind of remembering that. Here. Also known as Spike and Susie, or Willie and Wanda in English. These two kids, the girl and the boy, and their ugly tall aunt. You know, kind of a childhood staple if you're living in the Netherlands or Belgium. But yeah, so there's an issue which takes place on Aruba. Just has a few brief flashes of actual Aruban culture, and then they dive underground into an underground lab. And I've always found that evocative and interesting, but also there's this question of, like, how do you make Aruba important? Oh, it secretly has an underground hidden lab. You know? And besides that, I also remember rumors of Aruba having a secret underground volcano. There was supposedly a particular hill that was rising over the years. Not at all true. There's also an area called... No, there's a particular area by the refinery. I believe there are now solar panels there. But it was rumored that there was toxic waste dumped there, right? So there's all these little evocative things of what's going on under the surface. And Aruba has, like, hard, dry soil, right? Power lines are run above ground. Houses don't have basements. There's no underground parking garages, anything like that. So I want to explore the underground in a way, but also the concept of what is the Aruban underground. What is that? Like, even the caves we're going into are not really underground caves because they're on these terraces. But we'll look at that in a minute. Also, this mug isn't white, Grace. It's just that the light is so bright. If I dim it a little, you can see it has a texture. It has a little speckled texture. It's more of an eggshell thing. Plus it has this cute little pattern. Hey Ghost Bro, spelunking above sea level. This is exactly right. We're not going cave diving. Because that's a terrible thing to do. So, basically, like I said, an interactive digital poem where you go into a cave and I had a more elaborate thought in my head, but I want to keep it kind of dreamlike now to make it actually feasible. I don't want to make it like an actual puzzle walking simulator thing. It's just going to be really simple. You're navigating through a fairly linear area. And I'm going to connect these underground places in a way. You're going to start in a real cave. That's going to link to a gold mine. That's going to link to a World War II bunker, and that's going to then link into a much deeper cave that doesn't actually exist as far as I know, with like kind of these storyline implications of hope and reality. We'll get to that too, but the cave that I'm going to start in has a legend associated with it, which is to say something somebody once made up for tourists about these native lovers that were locked in the cave or something like that. And I do want to also tell the story about the actual natives and how, you know, there is speculation among archaeologists that when the Spanish took the entire population and deported them, that there were natives who escaped and hid in the caves. What if they hid in the cave even deeper? You know, there's a certain through line of multiple feelings that I'm trying to communicate in less than 400 words? I don't know. It's going to be a relatively simple poem. Let's go to Google Earth. Explore Earth. This is Aruba. You may have seen it before. Alright, here's the airport. Here is the, what's left of the oil refinery. As you can see, like, a solid chunk of it is inhabited. But this part is all hilly and rough, and the north coast is particularly rough. And this is where some of the cool caves are. So, the natural bridge is where I want to set the big game. That's over here. Right? Oh, what's left of it. What's interesting about it is if you look at it, the bridge, what used to be the bridge. Let's find a picture. Natural bridge Aruba. Images. Wikipedia has a decent picture. What used to be the bridge was, in a way, the entrance to a cave. Right, geologically. Right? This was all rock. The sea had kind of pushed its way through it. And then all that was left was the entrance, as the rest of it collapsed over thousands of years. And now the entrance itself has collapsed. But that's how most of these caves formed. There's not that many of them. But the one we're going to talk about is called Guadiriquiri. It's a hell of a name. The entrance is here, and you see it's kind of like on this cliffside. And it goes about this deep. It doesn't go particularly deep. It doesn't go very far. There's 3 chambers, 2 of which have big skylights. I think this might be one of them, but you can't really see them from this satellite picture, unfortunately. And a third one which is locked off because that's where... what do you call them? That's where bats nest. And they're like endangered or something like that. So there's a third chamber with a gate on it. And that is also to me like, oh, that indicates some kind of, maybe they're hiding something. Maybe there's it's because it goes in deeper. There used to be, you know, as a kid, you'd have rumors of like, there was a 5-year-old kid who got lost in there. That kind of stuff. There's another cave. Oh, here's a drag race strip. Every island needs a drag race strip for some reason. There's another cave that I've never been to. I think it's here. Yeah, Huliba. It's also called the Tunnel of Love. I believe it's closed off now, which again, evocative. Is there... Can I drag? No, there's no street view. It's called the Tunnel of Love because the entrance is vaguely heart-shaped or whatever. But it isn't... It is... I believe you needed guided tours back in the day, so that's why it's closed off. And you see, it's kind of close. I had thought of linking it, but yeah, what are they hiding us from underground? Here, you can see this area is like pockmarked by rock quarries, which is unfortunate. There's a few of those around still. Here too. This is all being mined. And this entire area is also dotted with former mines. I know very little about them. There's very little information about them. Actually, this area also has mines. This is where the sulfur mines were. And here I have seen, right here somewhere, we were driving. And you could, there's just a hole. There's just a hole with a rusted ladder that goes down like 15 meters. And there's some other areas here that I know there are people that are trying to chart and do tours on those mines and stuff. And then here, this is Baby Beach. It's called Baby Beach because it's very shallow. This area here is called Colony. And this is where all the executives who used to run the refinery lived. And, you know, now my Mrs. Bob's uncle lives here or whatever. This is a horrible big hotel that they're building there. But this is an area that because the refinery executives lived here and they wanted access to a better beach, they just dynamited this whole area out to make their own beach. But there was along here also, you can find little pieces of infrastructure still where they dug out tunnels under here. I believe to collect fresh water. Because Aruba doesn't have any freshwater springs. Well, Aruba has one freshwater spring. It's called Fontaine. It's right here. Fontaine means fountain. And there's also a cave there. And this cave is the one that contains a fuck ton of Indian drawings, cave drawings. It's really cool. I believe the cave I'm going to doesn't. So I don't know if I'm going to integrate that or mix them somehow for the sake of the game. That's a, you know, I have the ultimate resource, of course. I have this giant book. I don't know if that cave that I'm looking for has any drawings. I believe it doesn't. It does, page 99. Just so you know, the arrow is pointing right there. Oh, the thing is... Oh shit, I got a floor plan! I actually have a floor plan! Thank you! The Archaeology of Aruba, the Petrographs and Petroglyphs. I need to look into this. I've got an actual floor plan. I couldn't find any of this online. But it's not like like I said, it's just a couple of chambers. And they're lit by natural light, so it's not some kind of deep cave system that any serious cavers would want to explore or anything. I'm a little confused about it, but I'm gonna have to read this. But yeah, you can see the cave paintings are pretty worn. You know, they're 1,000 years old. Give them a break. And they're all very abstract shapes here. They're not the super interesting, cool shapes. And you got some cool patterns, though. You know, this meant something to somebody 1,000 years ago who lived on this island. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bookmark this. See, this is exactly why I wanted to do this stream, and I wanted to give myself some time, because I have stuff, I have information. What can I use as a bookmark? Just rubber band. I'll put you on the floor here. Because I also have... Well... I also have, of course, the bestseller, Was Aruba Part of Atlantis? I don't think there's any useful information for me here. Ah, yes, see? The Egyptians. It's all the Egyptians. This book literally has the author walking, like he's got like little drawings of paths he walks where he feels energy, which is supposed to mean something. He's like figured out the energy system. Oh no, but he does mention Guadalquivir though. Look, so Atlantis is involved somehow. Look, it's a washing machine. Because I think his argument is that the cave functions as an energy laundry. Anyway, that's going back. That belongs in the joke book bookcase, along with the Duke Nukem Forever guide. But I have. Well, where are you? I thought I grabbed you. I put you further away. It's hiding behind all the Atari stuff. Like these books are the ones by my my former French teacher, who got me suspended one time. And they're interesting, but they're full of like, they're a little more folklore-y. They're a little more pop history, you know? But that can be useful too for my project. Here's some of the first maps that the islands appeared on. Okay, this is that's South America. That's the Caribbean right there. Suspended for what? A famous story. He tried to keep us after class because nobody did homework, because he was a terrible teacher that couldn't motivate people. And I was getting an anxiety attack because I was getting picked up by neighbors, and I had no way to tell them that I was being held in class. And so he stood in the doorway, and I just pushed my way through, crying the whole time. And it made me into a bit of a hero in school, and people started rumors that I punched him or that I fought him and stuff. But I had to be like, they suspended me because people thought I looked like he was in the wrong, and the principal told me he was in the wrong, but we have to suspend you for a couple of days because you defied him, and very publicly, and that messes with the the whole carceral system that is school. And that's when I learned that it was all bullshit. All these rules. And I was just a little baby. I had a panic attack. People thought I was brave and cool. No, I was freaking out. This is the psychological authority. Exactly that. Yeah. Lago's story, the compelling story of an oil company on the island of Aruba. This is probably the deepest history of the refinery. Got lots of cool pictures. It's unfortunately terribly written. It is awfully written. This is a picture of a U-boat, like the U-boat that tried to attack the refinery. They got a few shots off, and then you know how in submarines they have a gun on the on the deck, and to make water not go into the barrel, there's a big cork in the front of it. They forgot to take it out when they tried to shoot at the refinery, and it exploded like a Bugs Bunny gun. But they also shot torpedoes at the refinery. But what I'm looking for is, I know for a fact, I'm gonna have to look that up, but I know for a fact that there are, or were at some point, underground bunkers here. There's defensive bunkers, like here too. There's these circular areas that you can kind of see here. There were cannons mounted on there. This is just like a lighthouse. Oh, we got 3 dimensions. But I know for a fact that there are like bunkers, and I can be a little interesting with that because there's a whole lot of stuff that isn't very. A whole lot of stuff about the refinery is kind of segregated because it's like a big company. It was the main driver for the island's economy for like more than half of the 20th century. There's big business, you know, so I can use that to make it seem like they're hiding something. Look at these little houses. Essentially, what you'd be doing in a way is taking a path from here all the way down to here, and then wherever. All right, this is a perfect moment to talk about something else entirely. Is it? No, we got ads. Ads are gone, right? Are the ads gone? The ads are gone. This arrived in my house today. A Philips V something. Come on, focus. Focus, you got this. V6 VR 610 Hi-Fi Stereo Video Cassette Recorder, aka VCR. It doesn't have... No! The spider webs have been cleaned off. There were no spider webs. And it came with cables, although the cables probably do need cleaning. And I went out into town and I knew there was one store that had a shelf somewhere, like it's like a weird secondhand store with VHS tapes, and I got Pretty Woman. Look at how happy they look. Which one of these is the Pretty Woman, I wonder? Unfortunately. Not functioning. Not functioning. It is probably, I think, 25 years old. Basically, it eats the tape. It takes the tape in, and then does nothing. So coming this Thursday, VCR repair stream. Look forward to it. Okay. So what I need to do now is we need to go caving. All right, and we're gonna go caving with the power of YouTube. Now let's be aware. There's gonna be some cringe here because a lot of this stuff is gonna be very touristy. Look, there's an ugly baby. None of this is gonna be particularly scientific, but you can already see here some of this imagery is gonna be very evocative. Look at this fucking piece of meat of a man. Jesus. The don'ts of Aruba. Don't take the Dutch too far. Don't worry about the rain. Don't take a palapa. Don't eat inside. Don't worry. Okay. Anyway, let's pause the music and just go through these videos one by one. Yep, you got the steel drums. I know the second chamber has like a rock right under the skylight that kind of looks like it could have been used for sacrifices or something like that. There's no evidence of that, but yeah, that was that tiny video. Useless. This is 4 minutes. From Ian K. It's not Aruban music, by the way. It's just reggae. It's not a 45-minute drive. It's unless there's traffic is really backed up, just a heads up, there is no drive on Aruba that is 45 minutes long. That's true. That's true. Get to the point. You don't want to fall into that water. You don't hear the vid. Oh, thank God. That's because I have desktop audio off. Thank you, Noya. This is what you're missing out on. The generic reggae. Anyway, yeah. So if you're ever on the north coast of Aruba, right? If you're ever like this entire area, and you're like standing at the edge of one of these spots, and you see like a little cross or something, that's because someone thought they could take a swim in this, or they were standing a little too close to the edge, and yeah, and they were goners. There's also sharks, but I don't think they're the problem. Because you can imagine, too, under the surface here, there's also cave-like things that your body could be swept into. And this is, of course, because of the... one of the things that makes Aruba bearable to live on in spite of the heat. Give me north, please. Is you got this trade wind coming in. Constantly. Forever and ever. And that trade wind is pushing the ocean into this side of the island. Which is also why you get really cool geological formation. Now go to the cave. Yeah, so how am I gonna... This is my question, right? I don't have my artistic skill, my visual artistic skill is not particularly well developed. How am I going to recreate this? I'm going for a minimalist style, not low poly, but maybe like PlayStation 2-ish. I have to evoke the authenticity of these colors somehow. Colors. Evoke the authenticity of the colors. That's a good phrase. Graphics. Evoke the authenticity of the colors, the tone, the texture, without the detail.
Okay. Cave is a limestone cave with many openings in the ceiling and plenty of space to explore the caves. Because of the natural lighting from the openings, you can see a lot of the cave.
Hey, Red.
Legend has it that the daughter of an Indian chief who fell in love with a man who was unacceptable to her father was imprisoned and died here.
Rules and regulations. Please protect our nature and abide by these rules. No smoking. No food, no drinks. No lights or flash photography. That's not true. People use lights. No graffiti. So the caves with a lot of paintings on it have graffiti on them dating back to like the 1700s. Don't litter. Keep quiet. Don't touch anything. Stay on the path. Is there a path? Take nothing but photos. Leave nothing but footprints. The above-mentioned violations are punishable by law.
Her spirit vanishing to heaven through the holes in the roof of the cave. It may or may not be true, but it is quite a romantic story.
The dark parts are dark. Like, I don't need it to be a one-to-one perfect laser scanned recreation or anything like that. I basically need to hit, you know, the landmarks, so to speak. I need to get the stairs, the gate, the initial tunnel, and some of these drippy rocks. Chamber 1, the tunnel to Chamber 2, and then from then on, I can the player be eaten by a grue? What's a grue? Isn't that the dad of the minions? The green. Can you work with billboard sprites? I won't even need to. There's not going to be any people. It's gonna be entirely just environment and words. It's gonna be one of those, you know, artsy fartsy. It's gonna be visuals. I'm gonna have to learn how to do audio and all that stuff. There's not gonna be any objects really either. Nothing that wouldn't be too easy to model in 3D anyway. Like when you're in the mine, there might be a mine cart and an old pickaxe, and that's it. In the cave, there's nothing. There's nothing that would need to be a billboard or whatever. The whole point is to try to make something simple. I want this out before the summer, and I want this to help me get back up to some kind of working process with Godot and with Blender and with whatever and programming. But also, it's going to be extremely simple. The most difficult thing is going to be creating the environments, I think. A Mist-like, much simpler. Much simpler. You're walking through these environments, you're triggering words appearing on the screen until the end. Texture, lighting, sound. Yeah, sound is the thing that I think will require a lot of effort. Let's continue. I want to get the shapes right.
Quadiri Cave is famous for its 2 chambers, illuminated by the sunlight streaming through holes in the roof of the cave. Supposedly, if the wind is just right and you stir up enough dust,
yes,
you will see a dust tornado form inside of the cave.
I've seen it! I've seen it!
Unfortunately, after many attempts, we weren't able to produce the dust tornado.
You loser, I saw it.
The cave extends for about 100 feet. In the darker portions of the cave nest hundreds of harmless bats.
And the harmless, they make you into a vampire.
If you like what you've seen and want to see where we explore next, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and catch my next episode where we hike to the Kanchi Natural Pool.
Alright. Next, the ugly baby. We're gonna have to do ugly baby. Not a good idea to bring a normal car there, by the way. You probably want something a little more robust. He's busy today. What is this, Paris? Rome? Red, all babies are ugly. I hit my head at some point. Yes, I'm a hater, it's true. Okay, look. You see this image? This image, I can recreate exactly, right? Because it's like a silhouette. Silhouettes. Get the silhouettes. Especially of the tunnel entrances and exits. If I can recreate this image already, that would be good. It's a very busy day. Keep to your right. Keep to your right. Oh, look at that fucking baby being held like a weapon in Minecraft. How good is this? How accurate is this layout? Baby gives a buff. The channel is called Bebe Life. Yeah, so this is the tunnel to the second chamber. Not much to see. You can imagine, though, that if you were the only people living on the island, you and a couple of hundred other people, this is definitely one of those places that has a mystic power. You know? Tossing baby out of the frame, diaper stays in midair, you slap it away, put a new one in its place, baby re-enter frame, and diaper. Yeah, sacrifice the baby on the rock. Put your phone away. You're here to experience it. The baby wants to ascend to heaven. So somewhere in there, right there, there's a third chamber that does not have a skylight and that has a little gate in front of it. I'm wondering if I can get any footage of that. I wonder if I have picture. I don't think I have a picture of that specifically. Cave babies. The brightness of the light also. The brightness of the skylight and where it. Why is that not making a sound? I checked the Robot Bob voice. Thank you very much, Fluff. Which speaker is deciding not? Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Fluff. The brightness of the skylights and where it smashes into the ground. The sandy dustness of the floor. The whirlwind. In which chamber? I need to ask my mom. Yeah, so this little rock, it's not much of a sacrificial rock, is it? It's not like... I mean, I suppose you could kneel and put a head on there and chop that off in the sunlight. This one's decent. As like a tour of it. And the baby's gone, so that makes me happy. Yeah, but gameplay-wise, it's just walking forward and hitting triggers. It's going to be pure environment, pure art, pure experience, and text. I have to save this one. Save. What do I watch later? New playlist, yeah. See, originally, the more expanded idea of this was kind of a conspiracy theorist trying to crack the code of what's underground, and he would come in at night, and there'd be like a little laptop set up, and there'd be little things you'd have to do. That's all way too elaborate. I don't want to do any of that anymore. Hey Baby would probably be the kind of game that would make you $1 million. One day. One day. Any of you is allowed to take the idea. I see the spooky stuff in there. Horror. 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 Thank you for the cat pick. Tone. Some mysteries. key in the dark underground. Use lighting and sound. He was sleeping upstairs in the bed today, all day. He did a big poopy and peep in the morning, so I knew he wouldn't have to, so I could bring him upstairs and have him. This is looking like a. I don't recognize this. This is somewhere else, or not? Was that the third chamber? That was the third chamber. It was open. Interesting. The Ruba inside the Guardian Cave has footage of third chamber? Question mark? Alright. Meganjo goes travel. More baby! Atmospherics. Bats? Bugs? The whirlwind? Like a history class where the teacher is trying to bring across something really serious and do, and the class is like, baby! No, I can relate to that, actually. Ugh. Learn how to speak. Use your mouth. Enunciate.
Wow, man, this is cool. Look at the tops. Wow, these caves are amazing.
Wow. What is it? It's a cave. What is that?
This is
I still don't understand how the layout, the floor plan works at all.
Yeah. This is so beautiful. Come with me. Over here.
Come on. Watch your step, okay? Just watch your step.
Sky. Go sky at all, or just blinding light? Light shafts. Some plants growing on skylight edge.
I love that.
Left, can you sit here in the middle? Can you stand here in the middle?
Nope.
Watch your step, left, okay?
The child cannot stand. Is there anything else? Bones. 53. Like this shot looks really cool. Life shafts are sick, but the light is more diffuse in there. Yeah. Well, Aruba is a very dry island. Very arid climate. Cactuses and plants with tiny leaves and such. Oh, this is just bad video quality. 360p. Yeah, it depends on what the style I'm going for, you know?
Alright, so show us where we're going on the map, Lev. So we just came off of Conchi, which was the natural pool, and so we're right here at the entrance exit. So we are taking this paved road. This dark road right here is paved. So we're trying to get down here to these caves, and so it'll be paved pretty much all the way.
Okay, this is cool. This is Fontaine Cave. This is the one with all the cave drawings. So hopefully they'll show some good shots of it. This is the one that apparently to the natives 1,000 years ago was like, this one is the shit. This is where we're gonna do all the rituals. Might have been because of the ceiling. It's just a nice consistent ceiling, you know? Come on. Show some drawings, you fuck. Oh yeah, okay, it's coming up. But this one is not going to be in the game. Because if I had to do this one in the game, I'd have to recreate a couple of hundred Indian cave drawings. That's not going to happen. Yeah, you see all the scratches on there too? There's like a couple of hundred years of graffiti in there. On top of all the paintings. This one I've always found very interesting because this to me looks like the map of a game. You know? But it meant something to them. Oh, here, they're getting a tour.
Okay, let's do it.
Alright, so my name's Sergio. I'm the youngest ranger they have at the park. I'm also the newest ranger they have at the park.
What year is this? 1 year ago. And my younger sibling used to be a ranger at the park. Until COVID. You know how the caves formed? Yes! We were talking about this. Okay. Trade winds. Coming in. From the Atlantic. Pushing the ocean. Pushing the ocean. Into the island. Right? Pushing. 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 Breaking rock. This. The natural bridge. This is what it used to look like. Imagine this as the entrance of a cave. Once, a long time ago. Where this was also rock. Until the water broke it all away. Moved it all. And all that was left was this. That and it's limestone. It's limestone and there's some volcanic stuff. But it's mostly the ocean pushing through. And at some point the water receded. And you got these terraced areas. You can see it better here. Right, you got these terraced kind of cliff sides. This used to be, presumably, where the ocean rose to. And now it's to here. There's some geology stuff in there. I don't know.
Quadriquiri Cave. The name of the cave, Quadriquiri, comes from the original language the Aboriginals used to speak. The language is called Arawak. Sadly, we don't speak the language anymore, but we have a lot of their words in our modern language now. Our modern language is called Papiamento. It's a mix of many languages, but I'll explain that.
That's a good question, Fluff.
So
the island itself is I believe it's 93 million years old. That's when it started to form. So it started to form, it started to rise out of the ocean. But when the dinosaurs are still around. And you have to remember too the let's see, the Caribbean plate. The Caribbean plate. Right? It's right on a tectonic plate. Here. And if you look at the way the islands are laid out, right, you got Aruba here, you got Curacao, you got Bonaire, but then you still got a bunch of other little atolls and islands that are kind of drifting out here from where the Caribbean plate meets the South American plate, I think, or whatever. The North Andes plate and the South American plate. It's not active. There are volcanoes here. Montserrat is a well-known example. Montserrat, that big volcano exploded when I was still in elementary school in Aruba, and I remember because we got refugees, kids, who came to our school because all of this, I think, I don't know exactly where it is. It might have been overgrown right now, but like the capital used to be like here in the flow of the volcano. And it just got completely fucked by a volcano. Let's see, Montserrat. What year is that? 18 July 1995. Yes. Right, Plymouth. Here, this used to be the capital. There's very little of it left. Look, you can see it's all overgrown. It's just ruins. So this area has volcanic activity, but luckily we don't anymore.
The name itself, Quadriquiri, it means my little garden, but it's
We don't know that. That's just something they say to the tourists. We don't know what it means.
a bit confusing because it's a cave and not a garden. So we don't know if the translation is completely correct, or maybe there was another place in this vicinity that had that name and the cave just took the name over. So let's head in and I'll show you more. Hold on to the railing, be careful.
I don't know if I'm going to put the steps in. I don't know if I want to start you off inside the cave with the Here's the ambition going. You could have a non-interactive intro scene where you walk up the steps. And then I'm like, you could have a non-interactive intro scene where you're driving along the road and then park and intro start at the where the parking lot, non-interactive walking up the steps animation. Because you start here. There's a parking lot here. There's like a little observation tower here too, but there's a parking lot here. There used to be a building here, apparently. Maybe a restaurant or something. And then the gate closes behind you. Yes. Gate closes behind you. Or fade to black and lock it, and it closes, and locking sounds, something like that, you know. That classic game maneuver.
Super fun to film, babe.
Mm-hmm. Climbing the stairs. Now watch your head here. I see someone hit their head every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I would have been that guy.
Yeah.
I bumped my head there.
Well, today not yet, but we got more people to come. All right. In this cave, you can use a flashlight. Please just only use it to shine at the floor.
Okay.
We do have bats in here, and we don't want to disturb them. So just shine where you're walking. Don't shine at the ceiling or at the bats.
Okay, interactive bats. Interactive bats that react to your flashlight? Maybe?
Now this cave has two main chambers. Both of them have holes in the ceiling where light shines through. So this cave is very famous for taking pictures. You have a lot.
Oh, bats!
Yeah, you do have bats in here.
So awesome.
That kid's little flashlight is fucking
Very
worthless.
famous cave for pictures. Just yesterday, actually, we had a couple that did their engagement photos here.
Oh,
So that
nice.
was really beautiful. Oh, careful.
Got it.
You okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Just slippery.
Yes. This is the first chamber.
Amazing.
Wow.
There are light shafts. Because of the
All
dust.
the rock you see around you here is 95 million years old. So this is one of the oldest islands in the world. The cave itself formed by water erosion. So maybe you saw it was a big cliff we basically walked into. That used to be the coastline. So the water was all the way up here.
Wow.
Yeah. And these holes here, they used to be geysers or blowholes.
Okay.
So when a big wave would come, it would push all the water and would blow right here out of the ceiling. Okay, stalagmites and stalactites, they form over a very long time. This is an example of stalagmite. And the little spikes you see on the ceiling, those are stalactites. Now, because all the rock around here is limestone rock, you have a lot of water that's running through it. When it rains, a lot of water gets sucked up by the rock. It almost works like a sponge. And so a lot of it drips through the caves. Every time it drips, it leaves behind a tiny bit of calcium carbonate and some other minerals. And over thousands and thousands of years, they form structures like this. And this one is very special.
Tights go up, tights come down.
Here from the wall. When you look at it, you have to have a little imagination, but maybe you'll see it already.
Looks like a face.
See a face.
Yeah, exactly, like
The
face,
chin, the nose, the eyes.
the big chin.
Yep. Face, skull, rock. Face, skull, rock in chamber 1. I remember people also calling it a bison or something. Or bison? Ask mom. My mom knows all this folklore stuff.
In here, a nose, a cheek, an eye,
Yeah.
forehead, maybe even a man bun.
A man bun for sure.
So maybe there was the spirit of the shaman that used to
Yeah.
come in here. He got trapped in the cave and this is how he expresses himself.
It's a fossilized skull of a giant. maybe.
Yeah, could very well be. The Spanish used to call this island the island of the giants.
Oh, wow.
Isla de los Gigantes. And there are some rumors that there were actual giants on the island.
Ah! Amerigo Vespucci, the motherfucker that America got named after, was a huge fucking liar and a piece of shit. He saw the islands and he wanted to embellish stuff and said, there's giants on these islands. No, the native people were shorter than the average Europeans. There are no giants on the islands. But because the History Channel and those kinds of people who are like into giants, people have been like using that. There was a Dutch author in the 1970s, I think, who did excavations to find giant skeletons, right? Ruining actual, I don't know how much he actually accomplished, but like potentially ruining actual archaeological sites, burial grounds, after this weird, like, biblical flat earth Atlantis giants thing. And it all stems from one notorious historical liar on a boat saying there's giants in them there islands, giants and weird people with faces in their torsos and 15 legs, you know, and that kind of shit. Anyway, and now this little ranger guy is perpetuating that myth for the sake of tourism, which is wonderful.
I believe it. I believe
It
it.
could very well just be rumors.
Hey, but they're cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Too many civilizations have mentioned giants for
Oh, no! See what you're doing!
True. That is true. Even all religious texts.
No, shut up!
Everyone.
There must be some sort of proof in them.
No, there mustn't.
Now you also see a lot of the stalagmites and stalactites have been broken off. They form crystal structures inside, so people actually used to harvest them for the crystals. Luckily, in 1997, this all.
I don't know if that's true. Fallen. What tights? Tights come down, right? Fallen stalactites on the floor. Stalactites? Stalactites.
This area became.
In Dutch, it's stalach. Not stalak.
And so they put a gate in front of it, and they couldn't come in and just break off the pillars anymore.
This is huge. This is the biggest cave I've ever been in.
Hey Steve, you speak some sticky. I do speak Dutch.
No caves there?
Yeah, there's some caves.
In fact, I'm in the Netherlands right now. Lots of people in the past thinking, what if a person was really tall?
They're just not
Must
this
be
big.
aliens.
Okay. We do actually have a lot of caves for a small island, but most of them are in this big island.
Gotcha.
This is the most beautiful cave, the biggest one.
Oh yeah, look how the sun comes in.
There's one very special picture there.
Oh shit! It's the giant. Oh no, this is the giant beefcake. These guys are the beefcakes. You speak Afrikaans. Cool. Okay. One famous spot in South Africa, in Zuid-Afrika is Bloemfontein, right? Well, Aruba has a location called Fontaine Cave because it has right here, like right here on these trees, basically the only freshwater spring on the entire island, and it runs down here. I think maybe here even. It runs down here, and there's like a little bridge, and you could put your feet in the stream, and there's those little fishies that eat at your feet. They tickled me a lot. And then this is like a plantation that used to be here that used to make use of that. Right next to the cave with the most drawings, too.
Call this the fossil room. Call it the fossil room because it has a lot of fossils. And you'll also see a very good example of the crystals here in the stalactites. Right there. See it shining. And be very careful with your head here. It can be a little slippery. So if you look in here.
That other guy you hear talking in the background, the older ranger. Well, let's see. My younger sibling lost their job as a ranger because of COVID, right? COVID hit like 6 months after they were hired. And then when stuff picked back up again, was not rehired because I'm pretty sure that older ranger guy was like, no, only men can be rangers. This is Aruba. Steve, this is Aruba. Right here. Right here. Just it's nearly as far away from the Netherlands as it is from South Africa, really. Ooh, that ranger, yeah. You know, it's a small island, strong Latin American machismo influence. There's still a lot of unfortunate backward stuff there.
Different textures and lines here. Those
Gay marriage was legalized recently, though, thanks to some court action.
are all
Nabij Curaçao and Suriname. Suriname, actually, Suriname, is like Curaçao is right here, right? That's a 10-minute flight. Suriname is all the way over here. Actually quite far away.
corals.
To show how the water was.
Yeah. The island before it actually.
Fossils. Mention how the cave was created. I don't want to spiral things out of control, but I gotta put all the ideas on paper so I can start whittling them down, you know?
The island was just a coral reef. And then
That explains it.
yeah, that's why we get so many
There's
fossils.
so
Later,
much.
Juge.
Yeah, everywhere. Unlike the other ABC islands, this island has a lot more rock. The other islands have a lot more soil and sediments.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I noticed all the coral on Boca Prince.
Yeah.
On the top plateau there.
Yeah.
I noticed, I was like, that's an awful lot of
Yeah.
coral and looks like fossils and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. It's because it was all used to just be a reef, and then volcanic activity actually pushed it up out of the water.
There's your answer, Fluff.
Then it gets very hot in here, so we'll get our
Yep. I was just thinking that. I was like, "Ooh, it's warm."
Have you know the statue of the thinking man? Yes. If you stand over here and look at that rock in the middle.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So the water was about 35 million years ago. I believe civilization started 300,000 years ago.
Okay.
So the island is actually one of the oldest islands in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Indians that did come in here, because we do know Indians came in here because we have some Indian drawings further back in the cave. They didn't live in the caves, they lived more to the south of the island. And they would come to this side of the island to fish and to eat from the sea. And then they would come to the caves to rest, and sometimes they did rituals, or they took shelter here.
Near to the Nederland. There was a bit of snow last night, but it's not freezing, so it all melted. And today it was just rain.
Or storms or hurricanes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was so much cooler than Fontaine.
Yeah, Fontaine had
Thinking Man Rock. I mean, it is kind of something I need to recreate.
a lot of drawings, a lot of history,
Yeah,
but this is just so much more beautiful.
It'd be great to primitive camp in here.
Yeah, that would be really cool. In that room, maybe you saw it as well, but the ceiling is black, so we actually believe people did make campfires in there.
Gotcha.
Maybe it was the Indians, but it could have been some other people as well later on.
Or the Giants.
Very good flow of air coming in the bottom, and it would be easy to go out the top right there because you have two holes. So this is where you put a cage.
Yeah.
The cave does go on a lot.
Okay, here you go. Here you go. Save the shit. Yes.
Further, but as you see, you have to really crouch down. And then it's about a minute until the first chamber. That
Okay. Third chamber. I've never been in there. Gate. I have to crouch. It's like 1.4 meters. And then what did he say?
this cave does go on a lot further, but as you see, you have to really crouch down. And then it's about a minute until the first chamber.
Minute until chamber.
In that chamber, we have a lot of bats.
With the bats. With. I know how to spell with. With the bats.
And those bats, most of them have young as well in those chambers. And
I don't think this lady, I don't think that was it.
And so,
Gotcha.
the first chamber, in that chamber, we have a lot of bats. And those bats, most of them have young as well in those chambers. And so,
Gotcha.
because the young bats, they hang on to their mothers. When they would get scared by the flashlight, the mothers would fly away and the young bats would drop to the floor.
Yeah.
Love to see the Bob myth. Thank you, Grace. Steve, I don't think anyone has ever played cricket on Aruba. Football and baseball are very popular. You can tell because let's zoom into a random spot. And here's a football field. And here's a baseball field.
So we decided to shut them off.
But Aruba is not Aruba was only owned by the British for like 15 years in the early 1600s. And other than that, it was owned, colonized by the Spanish and then the Dutch.
Protect them.
And now technically the Americans through tourism.
The bats we get in here, in this part it's mostly insect bats, so they only eat insects.
Yep.
And in that part, in the bats saw flying around, those were the fruit bats. Maybe you've seen the red fruit
I
on the
love them.
cactus?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they eat those fruit.
I think they look like beautiful flying squirrels. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
pet. I just want to have a pet.
And the bats are actually really small here, they're only about
Yeah.
this big, a few inches only. but they're very important for our ecosystem because
Yeah.
you may have noticed we have a lot of cactus on the island,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just because of the fruit bat. Because not only do they eat the red fruit from the cactus, they also pollinate the cactus flowers. And because the cactus flowers only open up at night, only the bats pollinate those.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So all the cactus on the island is because we have bats.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't have mosquitoes.
Yeah, we do have.
Yeah, there are mosquitoes. Believe you me, there are mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, but not as much.
Not as bad as it would be
Yeah,
without the bats.
It's actually rainy season right now, so right now it would be a lot of mosquitoes, but because we have insect bats, it's less.
Yeah. Man, thank you so much for the tour. And you don't mind us using the footage on YouTube?
No, no problem.
So Jeremy wasn't kidding when he said that it's like all the plants are trying to kill you. I mean, this is just a random plant, and it's looks like it wants to kill you. So check out the goats, and they just run wild.
The goats don't give a shit.
They stay pinned up, and
The goats don't give a shit about any thorns or brambles or cactus or whatever. I've seen goats carry like whole these flat. Can I zoom in on the video? Not really. These flat kind of I don't know what those are called. The flat cactus. You've seen goats with just whole panels stuck to the side of them, just chilling. Let's get rid of the zoom.
people just let them out and let them roam.
Cactus. Yeah, this is the weird little observation tower. Oh, fantastic music. And then they're going to a supermarket and looking at Dutch cheeses. Okay, so I just spent almost an hour and a half just on the cave. Because that's going to be the intro. That's the part that is the most true to life that I can imagine the least and want to have to be the most realistic. I wonder. There's not that a lot of information available on the mine. And what they looked like. There is like gold mining infrastructure that exists on the surface, buildings and stuff like that, but the actual mines, I remember there being a little bit of a display on in the national park, like entrance building or whatever. I'm wondering if any of these books will have anything. See, this is kind of interesting. This goudkoorts means gold fever, right? So this is like stories about basically the exploitation of the island. Zo reed Dr. Audibert door de Franse pas. You know anyone else with that last name? But I like the thingy here. Gold Rush 1, real gold. Gold Rush 2, black gold. Gold Rush 3, white gold. It's a decent, like, abstraction of the history of the island, except for the fact that it was like maybe 20 years of gold exploitation on the island. It wasn't that big a deal. But I'm just wondering if there's any pictures of the mines in here, and I doubt it. This is the freshwater spring by that other cave. There were goats there too. This is the picture of the plantation. It's currently Currently abandoned? I think the national park was able to acquire it and they want to develop it into something. See, here's like... This is the gold smelting area. Little car. I don't know if you have any actual mining. There's so little about the actual mining that it bothers me. And I know there's a guy on Facebook. I don't have Facebook, but there's a guy on Facebook who was trying to chart some of them. I don't want to go too generic with my depiction of it. I wanted to have at least some basis in reality, you know? No, because now it goes to Lago. Lago is the refinery. So there's Steve, there's no rivers on the island, but there are, like, when it does rain, it rains hard. So you have what are they called? In Roy. Dry riverbeds, I guess, that get formed. When it rains, they fill up. And originally and they run, you know, they run through the cities too. They run through here also. We used to have one in front of our house. Our house was one of the houses we lived in was built in between where two would meet. So the street in front of our house would just fill up with water. And gold was originally discovered there. In like big clumps of quartz, white quartz, beautiful white quartz. There's a legend, which my piece of shit French teacher talks about as if it's true, but there's no reality to it, that there was some like little herder kid who found the first piece of gold or whatever. But then, you know, once they industrialized gold, they actually dug mines. They dug holes into the hillside. See, this book is really cool too. It's in Dutch, but it says colonial myths and Leeward facts. Is it Leeward Islands? Aruba? Leeward Islands. No. What are the Aruban Islands called? The Windward? No. Aruba. ABC Islands. The most westward island of the okay. The Leeward Antilles. Yes, okay. So this book, again, they're only available in Dutch as far as I know. This book by Luc Alofs. And this one, The History of Aruba till 1816 by Adi Martis. These are the two, like, most actually historically accurate. There's been a lot of, like, history written on the islands that's not backed up by facts. And these are two, like, very modern proper historical reconstructions. But I don't know if you have any mining in you, my brother. I don't think so. No giant. And what really makes me sad is how little there actually is about the natives. A lot of it is reconstruction from related tribes on the coast of Venezuela. You know, but nothing real, nothing that we know for sure. Look. Here, pictures of remnants of bunkers and fortifications, and a little dick graffiti. And here, this is a picture of one of the gun emplacements. This is what it looks like now. There is an Instagram channel. Channel? That's not what it's called. There's an Instagram account called Old Aruba that posts pictures of Old Aruba. And recently, Mrs. Bob showed me, because she still has an account. She showed me this picture of soldiers on top of the Hooiberg. The Hooiberg is this hill right in the middle of the island, from which you can have a beautiful view of the entire island, right? It sticks out in the middle of otherwise flat land. It's really cool. Just soldiers sitting like right here, viewing this area before it was all built up. And what sucks is that Instagram account doesn't attribute the images. It doesn't say where it gets them from. And I know I might need to look into this then. Aruba archive.org. I know there was recently, in the last couple of years, some kind of initiative with archive.org to like publicize a lot of old pictures and stuff. Am I intending to not show my screen? I could be forgetting, but I had nothing to show. What I'm gonna do now, actually, is go to the little Bob's room. I'll be right back. Okay, so I had some thoughts while I was urinating, as you do. One is play music. So I have basically these three environments, right? I have the cave, and the cave conforms essentially to what it is in reality, and I know what the layout of it is. Essentially, you got entrance, tunnel, chamber, tunnel, chamber, tunnel, chamber, and that transitions into mine. The two other main environments. Thank you for sharing your Afrikaans, Steve. En slaap lekker. The two other environments, I want to have an authentic look, but what's actually going to be in them? The mines, I suppose, should show a little bit of like what do I show? What do I show? Infrastructure of industry, toil and labor, and results of exploitation. So maybe like what's results of exploitation? Nature, being nature underground. I know for a fact that people who have gone into the mines have seen little land crabs. There's little land crabs all over the island, and it's weird to see kind of like little land crabs. Land crabs? Nature underground or ruined? Some kind of story of that mine in particular. Old Papiamento. That could be cool. Land crabs, more bats. What kind of layout of the mine, you know? Tunnels, obviously, but also like a little corner where the miners would rest. How big? We have a certain size for the cave, and for the sake of symmetry, I want each area to be relatively big. Time spent comparable to cave. Right, and then bunker is similar. Like I can just use some concrete textures, you know, rusting rebar, concrete textures, rusting rebar, signs. Could refer to Lago book. I'm gonna look up on YouTube. I'm gonna look up on YouTube to see if there's anything about mines. And then I want to see if I can find that archive. YouTube mine archive. Goes down. Goes down. Slightly. Multiple stories deep, goes down more. Hatches, shelves of provisions. Recent studies indicate that the Leeward Islands, the Leeward Antilles, are accreting to South America. We're gonna unite. Reunite. We'll need references to the industry happening above. Lago, Aruba, World War II. LagoColony.com. This is a fucking website. Archived news stuff. Leads to nothing. Contact the webmaster. Archived Lago collection at U of Texas is also not working. The U-boat attack on Aruba. See, this is my problem. This is cool. Hey, bomb shelter. Bomb shelter. This is cool, but this is all run by some American guy. I think the homepage implied that he's passed away. Yeah. This website was created in December 2022 by 2004 by my father Dan Janser to record the Lago colony for the history of for posterity. Yeah. Although I never lived in Aruba, I did grow up with all the stories and have met a number of my father's Lagoite friends. Okay, so this guy actually did work. How the Lago website got started. Okay. But, you know, it's the story of a place not from Aruba. But there's a lot of interesting information on here. Is there anything about mining? Mystery photos. New stuff. Tankers. Where did the crude oil come from? Good question. The crude oil that was refined in this refinery and also these ones on Curacao, I think were eventually bigger, came from Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela. This is where Venezuela gets most of its oil from. I don't know if you can see, like, if you can zoom in, if there's yeah, there's little drilling things. Lake Maracaibo is interesting because it has the highest incidence of lightning strikes on the planet. Like, lightning strikes happen here constantly, and it's kind of freaky and cool. What else do you have? You have the same pictures. Yeah, see, this is gonna be very like I'm decreasing in realism also, partly due to just what I have access to, but it's also fitting because where I want to end is an entirely fictional cave that is obviously fake. Because I want to end on this scene of a giant carving in this huge chamber and like lover skeletons underneath it. And the twist will be, in a way, that it was a hopeful dream that the twist will be that it was a hopeful dream that there were some Kaikutio which had successfully escaped from the Spanish raids, you know, but that didn't happen. You have to face reality kind of thing. So I could work that in also, full realism. Full realism. Full authenticity. The mines are like not according to any real layout, but try to keep it as realistic looking as you can get from any pictures or info. And then the bunker is like not based on anything but suggestion, speculation, and in fact maybe something feels a little unreal. Like, is this real? You're just a machine. Mystery photographs. Nobody knows who this is. Or where this photo was taken. Or whose wedding this is. Yeah, I don't recognize this church. Last updated in July 2016. Location of underground bomb shelters. A. The red ovals show the location of the underground bomb shelters that were built soon after the attack on Nauru by U-156. Bunkers built after sub-attack. Apparently. Use that. Most of these bunkers were filled in after World War II, but maybe a couple are still open. If you go exploring and find one of these bunkers filled in or open, please send me a description and photo if possible. I will post it on this page. These holes were dug in the coral, about 10 feet by 25 feet, with steps down and a steel door into the bunker. A concrete bench ran around the sides of the room. There's no electric light in the bunker. The bomb shelters noted on map are underground as opposed to above ground, as shown. Left steel shell before sandbags were added. Right after sandbags were packed around the steel shell. The steel shell left was probably placed in the hole underground and then concrete poured over the shell and steps added. But we don't have any more other details. There were bunkers in the colony also. Wow, indeed. Interesting. But there's no further details. So yeah, I'm pretty like the actual bunkers that are historically attested are just little shelters, right? Little rooms. Whereas what I'm going to build is going to be more of a complex. Let's write that down. The actual bunkers were just shelters, little rooms. Whereas I'm building more of a complex that leans a bit into... Are they hiding something? Conspiracies. Without actually pointing that out, because I'm no longer going in that direction with the project. Yeah. Let me go look at the Lago book if they have any other pictures. The Lago book by Jorge Ridderstaat. All the pictures are in the middle, I believe. Alright. Yeah. One of those books where all the pictures are in the middle. I thought this book had color pictures, but it does not. Brave soldier protecting all the oil with his cute little pantaloons. I want to go to Fanny's shop for my French perfumes, jewelry gifts, Oriental souvenirs, curios, and luggage. Early employees on strike in the early 50s. Good. Yeah, I'm not finding anything more on bunkers. The thing too is The refinery was at its peak during World War II, maybe leading into the 50s. And then it started slowly kind of decaying, you know, closing down bit by bit, more and more. And then it closed down fully in like 85, 86, which was a huge blow to the Aruban economy. And that's when they decided, you know what, we're going to focus on tourism. And it's opened and closed a bunch of times since then, but there's a ton of like rusting steel and concrete there. It's a terrible ecological site. This entire area, all this soil is horribly contaminated. Yeah, this spot here is where there's supposedly a toxic waste buried. But like, yeah, all this blackened soil and rusting metal, some of which is 100 years old. These tanks that haven't been used. There's just remnants of tanks. It's not even the tanks themselves are left. So, like, who's to say that there isn't an underground complex here of several layers of bunkers that that lead into a deep, dark cave with a giant carving that the local Kaikutio couldn't possibly have carved, indicating that maybe they were a part of Atlantis. Who's to say that that's not possible, you know, underneath all this decaying industry? There's a proof of a former glory. Final cave. Proof of former glory. Atlantis! And stuff. No, I don't like this. Let us look. Aruba mines. The problem is, if I go to... Yeah, I'm gonna get this. Oh! Exploring an abandoned phosphate mines. Exploring old mines. There is stuff. Because this is not mines. It's a gold mill ruins for a building that was in operation for 5 years. But it looks spectacular. So people think, what is this? The old gold mine? Yes, that's a hole. Aruba's hidden cave pool. Don't go there. Gold Rush stories. And ghost stories. Old gold mine view. No, it's not a mine. This is Amigas. That's the caves again. That's the mill. Mountain biking. Okay, we do have a few videos of the phosphate mine.
What is up, you guys? It's Fabian from the Hans channel, and in this video I'm going to show you an older video. The video
This
that you
guy's
see
Dutch.
behind me was recorded in 2014, where I had my internship on Aruba. I went there together with Marnik. With Marnik I traveled to a lot of countries, and I wanted to share this video. I still need to go to another holiday country for new footage, so that's why I'm showing you guys this video. It's a pretty dark video, but I still think it's worth the sharing. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy it, and with that, enjoy your weekend.
So this is... I've seen this hole. I've seen this hole. This hole is like... here-ish. Might be this exact spot, or this. They mine phosphate. And that's a very kind way of saying guano. AKA bird and bat shit. Maybe the mine. Maybe the mine mixes phosphate and gold. One leads into the other. Each has a distinct style. Not too much work now.
Daar?
All right. Are we actually going in at any point? Don't worry. That's that. You're secured by pickup truck. You're totally safe. I would like to go in. Thank you. Fuck, it's pretty big down there.
Dat ze gebruiken voor, het is het merk waar de piek in die grond even slaat. We gaan deze kant, als ik met zijn kindje terug. Jij mag naar binnen en naar beneden. Even rustig. Kijk uit. Luister, er is een gat hier.
Don't shine light into people's faces, please.
Ai, van je ogen. Oké. Kijk uit. Hier. Je hand even hier houden.
Kijk hier, Elton in slaaptraining, zie je? Ik voel iets. Ja, slaap niet zo.
The phosphate mines are more cavernous, I think. Gold is tunnels with support, rails, carts. Phosphate is more cavernous. Maybe a skylight from an entrance. That's what links. That's what links to the bunker.
Hier mannetje links.
Het is voor mij een kleine condominium, hè?
That's where all the crabs are. Phosphate is where all the crabs are.
Hier mannetje.
Het is zo dat het water helemaal op het kalk neervalt. En tussen die rotsen naar de binnenkant.
Water streaming through the rocks. Little streams. Literally, all there is down there is crabs. Crabs like, leave me the fuck alone, please.
Met poten. Please make sure you subscribe and also give it a thumb.
This location will not be mentioned due to history. See, this is not a mine. These are the old water tunnels that they carved out. So maybe it leads even into that. Maybe that leads to a freshwater tunnel. Basic carved out of coral. Just a tunnel with water. The scope is creeping. Except for passes through a chamber with pipes and the hut.
Que dedo aqui. Vou dar aqui sim, só que tem medo disso fucking trapi. Eu vou dar mais no resto do mundo. Sim, tu confia em mim com Rosiane. É muito bom.
Right, this is up to water up to knee level. All right, don't need to hear them talk. Need to save this one. Well, I've just figured it out. By creating these 3 mini environments, I've created enough level. Imagine if there's a dead body. Alright, this is actually a mine. It's just a hole with some candy wrappers. This is too close to the water to be a mine. But that's salt from the water spray. Okay. So it goes gold mine, phosphate mine. See you later, Grace. Thank you for hanging out. Sleep tight, sweet dreams. Phosphate mine, water tunnels. That then leads into bunker hatch. Almost entirely fictional, other than that they had some bunkers. Different kinds of rooms in the bunker? Different kinds of rooms. Like, you know, bunks, shelter, theater, control room, etc. Might get too complicated. could suggest some of these with signs or maybe like one piece of furniture. But I like making it. I like the idea of making it a kind of liminal backrooms-esque corridor maze. Hold on, I'm gonna grab the book again. I wonder if there's anything about bunkers in the index. Is this in English? Yes. Although you know what the Dutch word is for bunker. Bunker. Building. Bunkering. Burrows. No, that's a name. Bunkering. 92. Bunkering. I think that has to do with like gold and shit. Gold, oil and shit. Bunkering facilities. Yeah, that's different. Bunkering has to do with shipping and oil and shit. Bunkering facilities. That's not what I'm looking for. 234. We got a full historical timeline. I wish someone would pay me. Someone should pay me. Look, if somebody from Editorial Charuba or Jorge Eriterstraat ever sees this, pay me 10,000 euros and I will edit this into a much more readable book. Thank you. I don't know what else to look for other than bunker. Shelter? Bombing? Submarine, no. Six-day war, no thank you. $56, $62. Blackouts. There's like a whole account of the submarine attack. Signs. Like, okay. The player does not know about what year anything happened. So signs referring to WW2, blackouts, propaganda, worker pride, etc. On February 17th, 1942, one day after the attack, a defense mechanism was set up. The army installed large guns into the sand dunes between the big and little lagoons. Guns were installed below the harbor. Huge searchlights were set up everywhere. Anti-aircraft battery was set close to the hospital. Practice blackout. Telling. The attack of February 16 and the subsequent days caused a mass exodus from the immediate refinery area and from Aruba. 58 families chose to return to the United States. Bomb shelters were constructed using steel, concrete, and sandbags. In case of an emergency, the refinery whistle would sound an alarm, while evacuation sirens installed near the Lago Hospital and the old Esso Club would do the same. Wooden barracks were replacing the tent caps. Water shortages. Water. Warehousing of goods store. Warehousing of goods. Warehousing of goods. D-Day. Blah, blah, blah. You don't need to discuss all the other stuff that's happening. See, to prove to you the scale of the refinery at Aruba during World War II. During the war, 1 out of every 16 barrels of high-octane gasoline used by the Allied Air Force was refined at Lago. That's not an insignificant share. Oh, this is actually written by an accountant, which is a problem, because he focuses so much on like basically writing out a spreadsheet. On March 15th, 1945, Lago processed its billionth barrel of crude oil, the only refinery in the world to run this quantity. That's fucked up. But not enough about bunkers. Peacetime mode. I wonder if you have anything about Baby Beach. Barbados, Bahamas, Babson. No. Okay. You know, not as much of an exploratory area, more of a corridor, leading to us might, basically out of wherever, however the poem ends up. Main scenes are enormous chamber with a big wall with an intricate carving of something, a scene of beneath that two skeletons embrace. maybe some remnants of fires. And then, of course, this turns out to all an illusion. How does it end? Flash back to entrance of Guadiri. Maybe showing the ocean. The mines were real, but the underground was not connected. No one was safe. Hopefully, still end with some hope, please. Now what? Sorry, I'm just letting my brain do some thinking in my head. Can I remove labels? Gonna let this song play out, and then I'm gonna have to start working on a to-do list. Cube. Right. I don't have a floor plan. But there's other caves nearby. Not in the main cave. Yeah, they don't have separate names, those caves.
Interjection. Ditfix TV is rating the BOBSTREAM with 2 new viewers.
Hey, Ditfix TV. What's up? Do you have a square house?
Command. You are directed to follow Ditfix TV immediately.
Were you able to square up your house? Your castle? You do well done. I'm so proud of you. I'm trying to figure out cave systems. You got preoccupied? That sounds like a Japanese porno thing. Proud of you for trying. Sorry, I don't know. I've been hitting the books. I've been trying to lay out a game that I'm trying to make. And, I realized that I have to do the worst thing ever. Oh, wait. Aruba. Archive. Digital Heritage Portal. Why you gotta be so slow, Archive? This is where they got it from. Oh, shit. Oh, this is a lot. Books from the 1710s. The island that broke the ocean surface and what it left behind? Underwater Cultural Heritage Management in Aruba. Okay. What's a fucking title? Known underwater archaeological resources. That's super cool. I would like a physical copy of that book, please. I wish this were better accessible. Tele Aruba. Nota. Documento. Newspapers. Slavery. National Library. I want... what do I want? Colonial Archive. Boy Écurie. Aruba Map Collection. Oh. That's cool. 1794. Yep. Perfect. No complaints. Has it all. Just the vague shape and a bunch of nipples. Enjoy your lurk, Defix. Thank you for the raidie. 1827. This is cool. It doesn't have these colors or shapes at all. Antiliana collection, Caribiana, Aruba poster collection. The Lago stuff, music, and then a bunch of old shit. This is just everything separately. But this is... There was a website. A separate website. Was there not? Adi Martis! Hey, this is the guy who wrote one of the books. The really good books. That's cool. He's supposed to have launched a book that goes from like the early 1800s to now, but still hasn't. I think. I'm assuming. Do a quick Google. No. The other book isn't even on here. Oh, here. Here's the website. Full text metadata. We can do English, please. Mines. Gold ores. Phosphate mine. Sulfur mine at Saba. Gold. Gold in them there. Well, they were hills. Here we go. Here we go. I mean, I don't think anyone went down into the mines. Take a picture. The problem again is if I Google Aruba gold mines, I'm gonna get that fucking gold mill. Right? That's all I'm gonna get. This fucking building. It's impressive, but it's not a mine. What if I add tunnels? No, this is just stock photo images. I'm gonna have to come up with it on my own, I think. Here, income. Entrance of one of the mines at Miramar. Miramar is, I know, there was gold there. See, this is the closest I get still. But look, this gives me what the cart looked like a little bit. Hat. Kind of what the support beams looked like. So this is something. It's something. It's not nothing. Ingang van een der mijnen. Goud. mijnbouw. Goudindustrie, goldindustrie, gold mining, gold, oro, industria di oro. Not a lot. Definitely not a lot. Collection. Which one of these are galleries and which one of these are like... or full text? They don't have full text search yet. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Here again, they've got a little, you got a little wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow? Wheelbarrow. Not wheelbarrow. Sorteren van goud bevatten en waardeloze kwartsen van de mijn te Miralamar. En Miralamar is like here somewhere, actually. It's like here somewhere, isn't it? Even here somewhere, Miralamar. Nowhere near. Oh, okay, it's here. Not too far. Well, that's actually really close to the entrance. You know, Guadalquivir is here. Miralamar. These are all the same pictures. They're all tagged the same. Probably not gonna get anything new here. What if I search for Miralamar mine? Still gonna get the gold mill ruins. And that same picture, the same pictures. When in Aruba. Museum of Industry, fucking horses, the gold mine, the aloe. I'd like to visit that next time we go. Article is talking about how this is from 1911. This is from 1911, and is talking about how much nicer Aruba is compared to Curacao. Yeah. Do you have anything? Any pictures? Yeah, same shit. Might be something worth reading here, though. This is the same stuff. Miralamar. What is this? What am I looking at there? That's a mine entrance. This is a mine entrance. This is what my mom was talking about. And I've already saved this one. All right, let's do a quick to-do. One, write the damn poem. Or at least continue writing it. 2, start sketching out actual level layouts. Just roughly. Try to match size for all 3 areas. Wait, what was the other thing I wanted to look at? Guadalquivir? Floor plan. No, huh? That doesn't exist, does it? How many caves? 3 unexpected and mysterious caves. There's no floor plan. Yeah, I'm gonna have to guess. Alright, and then learning about how to make them in a blender. Modeling. Then learning about how to properly integrate in Godot. Thinking about sound. How does the text appear? Not when, but how is it triggered and what does it look like? Maybe some concept arting. Yo? Like actually sketching and painting and drawing? Music would be nice. All right, I think I'm done. I'm spent. I'm pooped. Dare I say it? I'm a little tired. Twitchios, we will be raiding into one Nervous, the little hot dog boy. Everyone else, have a good night. Sleep tight. Do not, under any circumstances, let the bedbugs bite. Thanks for hanging out with me with this brainstorming sesh. I hope you learned something about a little tiny island very far away that I used to call home. Some minor updates. I will not be streaming as regularly as before, aka not every single Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be doing it if and when I please from now on. Which, you know, will probably still be most Tuesdays and Thursdays. I am coming back this Thursday. I gotta fix this motherfucker. This baby's gonna eat a videotape and digest it properly. Or at least I'm gonna try. Until then, today's the day, blah, blah, blah. I love you. Good night.
Thank you for enjoying the BOBSTREAM. I love you all.